Welcome back, folks. Greg Silverman here, Chief Investment Officer in my my research room behind me. Join us for another article of Come Learn With Me, where we take a look at all the articles that we curate over the previous week on our social media platforms and see which ones percolate to the top, which ones you all like and share, and read them in a bit of a Come Learn With Me session where I go through it, refresh myself, and just editorialize a little bit as well. So come join me this one. Gen Z TikTokers are making cash cool again. The throwback generation is saving, paying, and posing with dollar bills like a haute accessory. Okay. As of June 28th, so a little under a month ago, Gen Z is embracing cold, hard cash after being hard hit financially by the pandemic and the surging inflation that followed. The generation entered adulthood is meshing their life of late 90s nostalgia. Think cargo pants, bucket hats, and disposable cameras with a dose of fashion reality. One viral TikTok challenge has users smashing Hennessy bottles to access bills they've been stashing for months. Another trend includes organizing extra cash into envelopes dedicated to various expenses. Others, like 21-year-old McKenna Alviso, are simply flaunting the items they pay for with cash, which in their minds is basically free. It's a thought process that a lot of us have, she said. If I don't have to see a deduction from my bank account, it doesn't feel like I spent it. To be sure, consumers' overall use of cash has declined steadily in recent years. Options like Venmo and Apple Pay compete with credit cards that now offer contactless payment. And the pandemic was hard on greenbacks, as even more Americans gravitated to online shopping and worried whether viruses could be transmitted via paper money. By the way, was Europe recently, and certain parts of Europe, Italy mainly, you still need cash. There's a search for card, but they much prefer cash. So cash is still alive in some places. This cash use may have bottomed in 2020. The Federal Reserve Bank recent diary of payment choice. Cash account for 20% of all payments in October, up from 19% a year earlier, which marked the first increase since the diary began in 2016. One of the factors encouraging more frequent use is discounts offered by small businesses, a trend that's picked up since Visa and Mastercard credit card swipe fees for merchants in April. Also, I believe corporate credit card limits have been expanded quite dramatically lately as more people are working from home and kind of charging more to the corporate credit card travel as well. So another trend that I picked up that I thought was interesting. In addition, racking up credit card debt is getting more expensive, with the average annual percentage rate hitting 16.98% last week, the highest level since March 2020, according to creditcards.com. With inflation at 40-year high, it's another incentive belt tightening consumers to use greenbacks. Gen Z is more likely to pay with cash than people aged 25 to 44, to San Francisco Fed. A recent survey by Credit Karma found that 45% of Gen Z respondents prefer cash for everyday purchases, with 33% of those saying they feel like they have more control when they use cash, and 25% saying they don't want to rack up debt. Gen Z consumers paid with, I won't tell you which is my cohort. It's the blue, the blue. For Gen Z, cash's vintage vibe only adds to its appeal, said Jason Dorsey, president of the Center for Generational Kinetics. Gen Z is a throwback generation, he said. The act of carrying cash is new and different. Fear of debt. While the TikTok videos of cash transactions are fun and light-hearted, they obscure the pragmatic, conservative way younger Americans approach their money. If anyone who goes through a crash of some sort ends up being more frugal than those who didn't go through the crash. I mean, you look at the 20s and the 30s babies, it's cyclical. Gen Z's finances were bruised by the pandemic. 43% that they felt credit cards, rent, and other payments, according to a 2020 study from the Center for Generational Kinetics. Now, decades high inflation is hitting them particularly hard and still in fear of debt. How the pandemic hit Gen Z. They're in a place where they're trying to limit risk, Dorsey said. They want to know about fees and all the costs associated with the payment method. Cash is this tangible store of value without surprises that allows them to limit their spending. Lizette Pedraza, a 25-year-old veterinary assistant in San Diego, said storing cash in envelopes helped her save big ticket items like the $3,000 she stows away for a down payment on her car. If I know there's extra money in my savings account, I feel inclined to spend more money, she said. By contrast, cash that's already withdrawn from her account feels free. It's really interesting, isn't it? This term that keeps coming up, feels free. It's free and clear. Having seen the financial struggles of their older friends and family members, 1 in 5 Gen Z respondents said debt should be avoided at all costs. In fact, 64% of Gen Z consumers reported that they don't have a credit card at all. That includes Alviso, who exclusively pays with an debit card. You have this unlimited amount of money that you could build for later, and I wanted to avoid that, she said. Cash stuffing. Other financial savvy TikTokers using physical money to overhaul their finances through cash stuffing, a saving strategy in which people track their spending by distributing a set amount of money across various envelopes dedicated to regular expenses and longer-term goals. Yes, I've heard of that. Stellanos, 23, was found check and thought she was costly. No, after straight cash, 21 million have watched videos on her abundant gain account, which show attributing anything from $5 to $100 from a stack of cash into funds for a vacation and more. In a little over a year, she has saved $20,000. Wow. When we're using cash, we're taking control of our money instead of it controlling us, she said. Oh, there we go. That's a great article. Z, I'd agree with your approach. I mean, not all debt is bad for sure, but consumer debt is not great. Kind of wears on you, I guess. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. This is interesting. Very much what I love is the psychology that how people are spending and saving on mass basis. Of course, that has deep investment implications. If you'd like to see more of what we do, take a look at some of the links below. See some of our services we offer. You see some of the mini groups, investment mini groups that we are tracking, and links to LinkedIn group on each mini niche group. You can pick up some pretty interesting stuff. So hope you subscribe and like, and come back and see us soon. Greg Silverman out for now.